Well, I can assure you that we have recorded a huge success. Some of these things you see are liable. You cannot expect to fight an entrenched system. Corruption in Nigeria is endemic, is pandemic, is cancerous. It has been there for the past 50 years. So you do not expect to fight corruption to a standstill and you go it all smoothly. Well, what we are seeing is part of the resistance by some certain forces. Even the judiciary, there's a lot of resistance in the judiciary. I have mentioned the ruling against Justice Ademola, which cannot be justifiable. So you can see some resistance from the judiciary. You have seen the resistance from the legislature. But it shouldn't be. Everybody should fight corruption, because corruption, if corruption is not killed, corruption will kill Nigeria. But in Nigeria, we have seen that maybe only the president and some handful of people are really interested in fighting corruption.
If you are to substantiate,
even endangered national security.
If you are to substantiate, Chief Obla, if you are to substantiate on the successes that you've mentioned, in a number of cases, how many cases has the federal government won since it set out to fight corruption? How many cases, if you can hear me now, how many cases has the federal government won since the inception of this anti-corruption drive of the Buhari government?
Oh, I cannot, they are accountable. Even last week, that one did not make news. One of the oil subsidy thieves, he was convicted and sentenced to 104 years imprisonment. One of Jubrin, Rwani or so, he was convicted last week. So, but that one did not make news because people want to hear negative news. So we have also won a lot of cases, and many cases are pending. And even in the United States of America, even in UK, you do not expect to finish cases in 1 year. But we saw the one concerning the former governor of Ademola. The judge was very conscious of the fact that he has a duty to ensure that that case is heard expeditiously. Within 6 months, we had a judgment. So we want judges to marry into the war against corruption. Because if we, in the executive arm of government, if we have 5 cases in court, then we should not be blamed if the judges do not want to handle the cases properly, or if the judges will succumb to the antics of lawyers to prolong these matters.
Because some question will come onto the fact that the government says it wants to recover the loot. Some of the money has been stolen, and the federal government had in the past months has said we've recovered so amount of money, we've recovered some so amount of money. And I can mention a few cases to you now. The case of the former NNPC boss, that a lot of people have faulted the prosecuting techniques of the federal government prosecuting agencies, that there no due diligence into how and the way and manner in which they did the job. They did it mostly just for publicity, that some of these cases lack depth.
I don't agree with you that you are being speculative. Where is the evidence by you to show that the case against, I think, Andrew Yakubu lacked depth? we have recovered the money, and let him show evidence that throughout his career in NNPC, he earned this money.
Because the question will be, Chief Obla, the question will be, are you able to link that money recovered in that house in Kaduna to any money stolen when the man served as a government official? And that's a major question, isn't it?
Well, we are still investigating. So it will be premature to answer your question at this level. We are still investigating. And he has to explain. Because under the EFCC Act, under the ICPC Act, he has an explanation to make. He came by $9 million US. A civil servant, a public servant. It is not done.
Okay.
Let me explain. So
let me ask you precisely. If I may ask you precisely, you have said that the government has been successful in its anti-corruption war. The question is, just how much has the federal government been able to recover, say, in the last 2 years?
Oh, I believe you listened to the Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed. He gave a breakdown of the figures. So I cannot sit here and tell you, oh, this is how much we have recovered. But we have recovered a lot. And the last time Minister for Information said, look, we have frozen accounts holding almost $9 billion US. And the figures were given also by the Attorney General recently of how much we have recovered through the whistleblowing initiative. So we have made a lot of recoveries, but I cannot sit here and give you all the figures.
It looks so intriguing, isn't it, Chief Obla, that even when the EFCC boss was asked, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, at the Senate, how much has his agency been able to recover, he gave a similar response just as you gave right now. It looks so much that the federal government does not even have an idea holistically of how much it has recovered, because the big question would be, if we have recovered so much money, why are we going to the several world bodies to borrow money?
No. You are wrong, totally and completely wrong. I have mentioned the fact that the Minister for Information gave us figures of how much has been recovered, and you are still insisting that we cannot say how much has been recovered. I have mentioned that we have recovered so much. I think the last time the Attorney General was talking about $160 million just from the whistleblowing initiative that was introduced about 5 months ago. And it will be wrong for me to stay here and give you all the figures of how much we have recovered. But I believe what the Minister of Information told us about 7 months ago still stands, and what the Attorney General said recently. And these monies we have recovered, you cannot expend money under the Constitution. The executive cannot expend money without passing the National Assembly.
Chief Obla, we need to take a break now. But when we come back, we'll give you more time to talk about the anti-corruption drive of the President Buhari government and just how far that has gone, because some people will say, is the government losing the war already? Join us again.